I'm still reeling, still trying to process everything that happened. It's like a nightmare, and I keep waiting to wake up. But I don't. This is real. This is my life, and it's been shattered. And the worst part? It was shattered by someone I thought I could trust with my life, someone I considered family. Someone who'd been my best friend since we were kids. His name is Liam. Was Liam. We grew up together. We shared everything: bikes, scraped knees, embarrassing first dates, the triumphs and the defeats. We were inseparable. He knew me better than anyone in the world. He knew my family. He was practically family. Then everything changed. It started innocently enough. A few missed calls, some vague excuses. Liam had always been a bit flighty. Prone to grand gestures and equally grand disappearances. But he was usually there when it mattered. This time, however, things were different. My mother, well, she'd been ill for a while. Cancer. She fought like hell, she really did, but it eventually took her. It happened the Monday before her funeral. The funeral was going to be the Saturday. The worst part was, her time here wasn't cut short. It was stolen. The day my mother passed away, I was, naturally, a complete wreck. I'd barely slept, hadn't eaten, and was running on pure adrenaline. I called Liam. I needed him. I needed my Liam, the guy who always knew the right thing to say, the guy who could make me laugh even when I wanted to curl up and die. He answered, but his voice sounded strained. "Hey, man," he said, his tone a little off. "Liam, it's Mom," I choked out. "She's gone." There was a pause. I could practically hear the gears turning in his head, searching for the right response. "Oh, shit, man. I'm so sorry," he finally mumbled. It felt detached, somehow. I told him about the funeral arrangements, that I'd need his help with the arrangements, since he was my best friend, and my family couldn't take care of much. "I need you here, Liam," I said, my voice cracking. "I can't do this alone." "Yeah, about that," he began, and I could feel my stomach clench. "I'm going to be a little tied up on Saturday. I've got something scheduled." "Scheduled?" I repeated, my voice rising in disbelief. "Liam, my mother's funeral is on Saturday." My mother star. "Yeah, I know, but I already made plans," he said, the words a bland statement. "It's a non-refundable tea time. I can't just cancel." I felt a cold wave wash over me. Non-refundable tea time asterisk. At a time like this. My mother was gone. My mother was dying. And he was prioritizing golf. "Liam, are you serious?" I managed to ask, my voice a low, dangerous rumble. "Look, I'm really sorry, but I can't. It's already paid for, and it's non-refundable," he repeated, his tone now bordering on annoyed. I'll call you later, okay?" He quickly disconnected. I was stunned. I couldn't believe it. I was in a daze, trying to make sense of what I just heard. Had I heard him correctly? My best friend, the man I'd trusted with my life, was ditching me at the hardest moment of my life, for a game of golf. A game of golf. The week leading up to the funeral was a blow of grief, logistics, and unanswered phone calls. Liam was MIA. He didn't call. He didn't text. He was completely unreachable. His silence was deafening. The silence broke me. I couldn't function. Then, the day before the funeral, as I was making the final arrangements, I tried to reach out to him. I swallowed my pride and dialed his number. I needed to tell him how much he hurt me. Blocked star. He'd blocked me. My best friend had blocked me. It was a digital kick in the teeth. I was alone, drowning in sorrow, and the man who had promised to be there for me had vanished. The funeral was a blur. I remember standing there, delivering the eulogy, and seeing the faces of my family, their faces etched with grief. I saw the empty chair where Liam should have been. The pain was raw, visceral, the kind that claws at your insides. Later that evening, after the service, after the condolences and the forced smiles, I went home, and my phone buzzed. I knew who it was. It was the notification that I should call my best friend again. I didn't know what to do. The call was from my sister. "The baby's choking," she screamed, her voice frantic. My 7-month-old nephew was choking. I rushed to the phone to help her. It took a while, but I finally managed to get her to calm down. I then checked my phone again. It was a message from Liam. "Hey man, do you want to talk? Call someone else." I felt the blood drain from my face. It was the ultimate betrayal. The casual dismissal of my grief, followed by the casual dismissal of a life. I wasn't just hurting. I was horrified. That's when I decided I needed answers. I had to know what had gotten into him. I had to understand why he'd abandoned me, abandoned my family. And that is also where the app my IT friend installed came into play. He explained that sometimes, when there are teenagers, the app is good, and I agreed. I'd always been careful, checking my phone occasionally. It wasn't that I was suspicious of Liam. Not really. I just like to know where people are, and what they are doing. I opened the app. I pulled up Liam's location history. I could see exactly where he was on the day of my mother's funeral. I could see exactly where he was on the day the funeral was announced. The day my sister called me. I could see him, from his GPS, from his phone. He was at a golf course, hundreds of miles away from the funeral. He'd had his non-refundable tea time. But then, there was something else. There were multiple locations. Restaurants, hotels, a series of locations that painted a picture of a secret. A life. I scrolled through the evidence, and it started to come together. After the app, I pulled up his texts, and I found more. Messages with another woman. Messages full of tenderness, promises of the future, of starting a family. Of creating a life together. A life that clearly didn't include me, or my family. It included them, away from us, with someone new, and I finally saw the truth. He'd been seeing someone, and the golf trip had just been a cover. This was an exit strategy, pure and simple. He'd chosen her, and a new life. He chose himself. His sudden disappearing act. His lack of sympathy. His utter disinterest in the funeral. It all made sense now. The tea time was just an excuse. It was all part of a carefully constructed plan to escape our lives, to get away from our grief. I gathered the evidence, printed it out, and went to the house. I needed to see him. I needed him to see how I felt. I didn't understand why he had done it. I drove to his house. I knocked on the door. He opened it, and his eyes widened in horror as he saw me standing there. His face was shocked. "What are you doing here?" he stammered, his voice barely above a whisper. I didn't answer. I just held up the papers, the location history. I watched his face fall as he looked at the proof, the devastating truth. He knew I knew. I can explain, he began, his voice cracking. "No, you can't," I said, my voice cold and flat. "There's nothing to explain. I know everything." He tried to say something. I was shaking with a mixture of grief and anger, but I didn't care. It was done. He'd broken me. He'd broken our family. He'd chosen his own happiness over everything we'd built together. I turned around and walked away. The relief, when it came, was a strange, bittersweet thing. I was heartbroken, but also free. Free from the weight of that friendship, from the lies, from the betrayal. I'm not sure what the future holds. I know I have a long road ahead of me, but I also know that I'm strong, stronger than I ever thought possible. I have my family, the ones who truly matter. And I have the evidence. The proof of his lies, the proof of his abandonment, the proof of who he really is. That's where I was. That's where I am. I'm rebuilding my life, and that is all I need to do. ***, I have cut him off from my life forever, and have moved on with my new, beautiful life, a life I am grateful for.